Hey guys, this is a short little video about, one of my recent hunts. I'm kind of going to talk about a stalk I had the other morning, and then that night I'm going to talk a little bit about a ground hunt, and I got some footage from that too. I wish I could have filmed more and, had more to show you guys, but with self-filming, for one, it's hard to do. For two, this all happens so fast. And for three, without having, really high quality camera gear, it's hard to get some really good shots through some really thick stuff or, from farther distances or whatever. But so I hunted that morning at a spot and I didn't see anything. So then I kind of just started, hey, I'll just drive around, and if I see anything on any, public land that I could stalk, maybe like a doe or something, I'll just go, give it a go. Why not? Driving past a piece of property and I see, a nice big buck bedding down. Wasn't a ginormous buck by all, but definitely a really good buck for public land. So I kind of had about 75 yards to stalk on this guy in a creek bottom, through some really thick willows and red brush. I ended up getting within 20 yards of this guy. Had to go through the brush pretty quietly and slowly across the creek, and I was about 20 yards away from him, but he was just in this really, really thick willow stuff. And I really couldn't see his body all that well, but I could see his antlers when he would turn his head and whatnot. So I probably watched that deer for about 30, 45 minutes, and I kind of thought to myself, you should really get to a spot where if he does stand up, you'd be able to draw back and let one go. So I was trying to do that, and I think what happened was he saw the willows kind of above my head moving a little bit, because these willows, they're not straight up, they're slanted, so they're so hard to get through, without making any noise or moving anything. Jumped up out of his bed, turned around, looked for about 2 or 3 seconds, and he walked out of there. So I know he didn't jump, didn't spook super hard, so I think he'll be back at some point. So that was really cool. Later that night, I was going to ground hunt. This is a spot where I've seen 3 does, a bigger doe and 2 yearlings cross frequently. So I'm kind of getting to my spot, and I'm just kind of crouching to take a little breather before I get into where I want to really set up on the ground. And they spook across the creek about 50 yards away. They kind of, turn around and look at me, and then they keep running. So I was like, oh, well, there's a crossing down here, because there's a big bluff side on one side, and then a creek. And I know that they're gonna have to cross to get that creek again at some point. So I boogied down to another, really heavily used creek crossing, thinking it might be there. I get there, of course the deer are there, but they're not crossing. They're over on a private feed now. So these deer ran about 50 yards and started feeding after they spooked. So I don't really know how hard they actually spooked or whatever. But I kind of followed these deer for about an hour and a half, 2 hours, on private land, as I was kind of following on public, just in case if they did cross over, I would have a shot. So yeah, as I'm kind of following these does and hoping, to get them to come over on the public to get a shot, stuff starts getting a little interesting. So I know I didn't have any footage of the morning stalk, but I did throw on my Tacticam on my stabilizer mount on my bow and had that running for you through this, and I get 2 really close encounters. So stay tuned and check out these close encounters, and I hope you enjoy them. So yeah, as you guys can see, I probably could have shot a spike that night. I didn't really want to, but I did. It's my first year bow hunting, never shot a deer with a bow. But since, I have had a few close encounters with some nice bucks, I just couldn't do it. And then that doe, obviously, she was on public for a little bit, but she was behind brush the whole time, never had a shot. And it was weird because I was kind of stalking these does as, and then got behind a tree, and then that's when the spike came out. So I was in a really weird position, hide behind this tree, but never really spooked any deer fully. I got close. That doe jumped right onto private as I was gonna be able to get a shot, which was really sad. But hey, I'm getting close. I don't think I really spooked any deer really, and I think if I just keep going at it, I'll be able to put one down here, put an arrow through one. So thanks for watching. I know it wasn't super exciting, just a little bit of film, but this is kind of the most excitement I guess I've had so far this year that I've gotten on film. So hope you guys enjoyed it, and I'll see you next time.